All right, folks, apologize for the technical difficulties there. Believe we lost our internet connection for a while. I'll try to catch you up briefly on what's going on. As you see on the scoreboard, Georgia has taken a 2-0 lead. Again, apologize for the technical difficulties. We, I believe, lost an internet connection. So really quickly, not sure when we lost you, but top of the second inning here, we had a leadoff single by Blake Tucker and then a walk to Preston Price as Connor Bone is now at the plate. So again, a leadoff walk to Tucker. A single by Tucker, a walk to Preston Price. Ball got away from the catcher. Both runners moved to second and third. On the throw down to third from catcher Colin Flynn, the ball got away from the third baseman, allowing Antoine Rowling, who was in a pinch run, to score. And then Cameron Dunbar, who was at the plate, delivered a big RBI single. So that should catch you up now as Cameron Dunbar is on first. Again, Georgia with a 2-0 lead. So let me reset the action for you here. We're in the top of the second. Connor Bone at the plate. 3 balls, no strikes on Bone. Cameron Dunbar at first as that gets away, so going to be runners first and second. So Dunbar at second, Connor Bone at first. Nobody out here in the Georgia second inning. Already holding a 2-0 lead after striking for 2 here in the top of the inning. 37 pitches now for Kobe Mayo. We'll keep you apprised of the pitch count here as we go along. So Mayo at 37 pitches through 1 complete. Again, nobody out here in the second. 2 runners on for Georgia, and that brings Brian Peel to the plate, the number 9 hitter for Georgia. So Peel stands in, 0-1 the count, 2 runners on, nobody out, and Mayo delivers. That's fouled off late by Peel. Not sure exactly when we lost you, but I'm going to assume we had you through the first, so I won't catch you up on all that action. 0-2 the count here to Brian Peel. 2-0 Georgia leading here in the top of the second. And soft ground ball to third. Sears going to fire to second for 1, and that's all he's going to be able to get. Oh, they say he pulled it off the bag. Runner safe at second base. No argument from the Florida coaching staff.
Now batting number 7, Joshua Melton.
So Sear fielded the soft ground ball from third base, fired over to Fuentes at second, but Fuentes not able to hold the bag. And so bases loaded now for Joshua Melton, the leadoff hitter for Georgia. And that ball is flared down the left field line and just foul. So Dunbar at second. Dunbar at third. Connor Bone at second. Brian Peel at first. Bases loaded. Joshua Melton at the plate for Georgia. No one out. And now the count even at 1-1 as Kobe Mayo delivers. Florida, as you can see on your screen, with the infield drawn in here, already down 2-0 in the first. So they will look to come home with it as the curveball is taken for a strike by Melton. Nice pitch by Mayo. So Mayo with his work cut out for him here, trying to get out of this inning. Bases loaded, no one out. And the 1-2 pitch to Melton swung on and missed, and a big strikeout there for Kobe Mayo. And that's going to bring Avery Boyd to the plate. Again, if you weren't with us earlier, Trevor Cragen, one of the stars for this Georgia team, started the game in the 2-hole and in center field. Trevor, we were alerted before the game, was not feeling well, stomach bug. And Cragen tried to give it a go, batted in the first inning, went to the dugout between innings, told the coach he just didn't think he could go any further. And so Avery Boyd entered defensively immediately for him at the moment. Now Boyd will stand in Cragen's spot with the bases loaded here in the top of the second inning. And Boyd swings through strike 1.
Now batting number 13, Avery Boyd.
So Avery Boyd at the plate. Bases full of Martinez Evans Little Leaguers. 1 down. And that's taken for strike 2. As Kobe Mayo trying to work out of a jam here. And Mayo delivers the 0-2 pitch. Taken outside, that gets away. Dunbar's going to come home. We're going to have a play at the plate. And Dunbar is out. Great play by Kobe Mayo. Bang, bang play at the plate. Great hustle there by Colin Flynn to get to that, athletically flip it to home plate where Kobe Mayo caught it and was able to slide in front of the runner and tag out big Cameron Dunbar as he came barreling into home plate. Great play on both ends. Nice hard slide into home by Cameron Dunbar and an equally hard slide by Kobe Mayo to beat him to home plate. And now 2 down and curveball taken high. So Kobe Mayo is 1 strike away from getting out of a bases loaded, nobody out jam here. And the 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 3. Huge pitch there from Kobe Mayo. So a big inning for Georgia. Could have been even bigger. Georgia able to strike for 2 here in the top of the second inning, but do lead the bases loaded with nobody out. So we head to the bottom of the second with Georgia leading Florida 2-0. Welcome back here as we head to the bottom of the second inning in the 2013 Tournament of State Champions championship game between Martinez Evans Little League out of Evans, Georgia, and North Springs Little League out of Coral Springs, Florida. And Zach Spano will stand in to lead things off for Florida here in the bottom of the second. Again, Georgia struck for 2 in the top of the second inning. Cameron Dunbar with the big blow, an RBI single up the middle. And Spano, the Florida shortstop, stands in to lead things off. Again, we're broadcasting live from Stallings Stadium here at Elm Street Park, beautiful Elm Street Park in Greenville, North Carolina. And that's taken inside for ball 2. Temperature in the low 80s as we start the game this morning. Almost no breeze at all as the flags stand completely still. Again, good crowd on hand. A lot of locals here this morning to support this game, and obviously the Georgia and Florida faithful here that have been here with us since last Friday. And Fuller delivers strike 2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. Nobody out here, bottom of the second. Again, Georgia with an early 2-0 lead over Florida. And Fuller delivers. Just outside. And the payoff pitch is taken inside for ball 4. So, for the second consecutive inning, the leadoff hitter for Florida draws a walk. And that'll bring Tyler Kraft to the plate. Left-handed hitter, playing right field today for Florida. Taken outside for ball 1. Fuller threw 1 complete. Has 31 pitches now in his pitch count. So again, Fuller at 31 pitches. Has not recorded an out here in the second. And Kraft stands in. Taken high for ball 2. Again, the coaching staff for Georgia, we introduced the coaches earlier for Florida. Manager Robert Peel, Coach Joe D'Amelio, and Coach Woody Melton. Again, both of these coaching staffs deserve a lot of credit for getting these folks here. And the 2-0 pitch taken for a strike. You know, on top of the preparation and planning and practicing and instruction and team building these guys have got to do, they're also away from work for long periods of time during these runs as he squares around the bunt, does craft, but takes ball 3. Talk with both these coaching staffs about the amount of work they've missed and know where they'd rather be than here, but come tomorrow, it's back to the real world for everybody. Been a great experience for these kids here. Again, they arrived on Friday. Opening ceremonies were held Friday night. Great local support for this tournament. Again, this is the 4th year this tournament has been held here in Greenville, North Carolina at Elm Street Park. An absolute showcase for Little League Baseball. Again, we'll tell you more about the park later. And the 3-1 pitch, fouled back by Tyler Kraft. This is the first appearance in a Tournament of State Champions championship game for a team from the state of Georgia, as Fuller delivers a payoff pitch outside for ball 4. So Spano and Kraft with consecutive walks to lead off the bottom of the second.
Now batting number 14, Luis Fuentes.
And that's going to bring Luis Fuentes to the plate. Fuentes, yesterday's hero, delivered the walk-off game-winning single in the bottom of the 6th, scoring Colin Flynn. As part of that, Tyler Lee had a huge double. Fuentes swings through. Again, yesterday, Flynn led off with a single. Tyler Lee doubled him over to third. And eventually, Fuentes delivered the game-winning hit, fly ball into left center field to win it for Florida in the bottom of the 6th against West Virginia and advance them here. Dramatic win, dramatic game. Heartbreaker for West Virginia. One ball, one strike, 2 runners on here in the bottom of the 2nd for Florida. Fuentes at the plate. And he swings through strike 2. And strike 3 swung through there by Fuentes on the high fastball. So Fuller able to get the big strikeout. And that's going to bring one of the offensive stars for this week to the plate for Florida, Kobe Mayo. Kobe opened the tournament up on Saturday with a 4-for-4 performance and has not cooled off much since as he stands in with 2 runners on and takes high for ball 1. Mayo walked his first time up today. Drew a leadoff walk to start the game. Correction. Mayo reached first base actually on a strikeout that got away from the catcher. Apologize, folks. Good catch. So Mayo stands in 1-1 the count and takes one in the middle of the back. So he'll move down to first base now. And that's going to load the bases up. So Georgia loaded him up in the top of the 2nd, and now Florida has loaded him up in the bottom of the 2nd.
Now batting number 2, Timmy Manning.
That's going to bring Timmy Manning to the plate as Mayo continues to walk it off down the right field line. Looks like he's going to be fine. Took that sort of in the small of the back. And Timmy Manning stands in from the left side with the bases loaded here in the bottom of the 2nd. It's taken for a strike. Mentioned earlier that this is the first appearance for a team from the state of Georgia in the Tournament of State Champions final. This is the third appearance for a team from Florida in the 4 years it's been held here, as Manning quickly falls behind 0-2. Third time a team from Florida has been in the final game here in the 4 years of this tournament being held here. 0-2 the count. And that's wasted high for ball one. Last year's champion was Plant City, Florida. Plant City Little League out of Plant City, Florida. And that's taken outside for ball two. So base is full of North Springs Little Leaguers. Manning at the plate, one down, 2-2 count. And that's taken low for ball three. And the payoff pitch. Taken high for ball four, and that's going to score a run. So a walk and an RBI for Timmy Manning. And that's going to bring Sean Shambo to the plate, the left fielder.
Now batting number 12, Sean Shambo. That's popped up. Go back and hit enter.
And Shambo takes outside for ball one.
Then hit enter on it. I don't know if it clicked. Click that one. Go back.
Taken for a strike. So 2-1 Georgia leads. Bases are loaded. And that's fouled off the bat of Sean Shambo. Couldn't tell if it hit his helmet or hit his bat there for a moment. So Shambo falls behind in the count 1-2. Shambo at the plate. Bases loaded. One out in the inning. And Fuller delivers the 1-2 pitch. Curveball stays just high for ball two. 2-2 the count. Fuller now with one out here in the bottom of the second at 53 pitches. And Shambo swings and fouls that out of play. So pitch count already beginning to get up there for both pitchers. Through 2 innings, Kobe Mayo was at 49 pitches for Florida. And with only one out here in the second, Fuller already at 54. And the 2-2 delivery. Taken for called strike three. Shambo down on strikes.
The next batter is number 10, Richie Pena.
And that'll bring Richie Pena to the plate for Florida. As now Fuller is only one out away from being able to work out of a jam here in the second inning. So Richie Pena, the cleanup hitter, stands in. Takes high for ball one. Again, like to send a shout out to those folks listening in Coral Springs, Florida at Hurricane Grill and Wings. We understand there's a large crowd gathered there to watch and listen to the game as that pitch hits Richie Pena, and that's going to tie the game up, folks. Number 5, Tyler Kraft trots home on the hit by pitch. Richie Pena goes down to first. And we're tied at 2 here in the bottom of the second with 2 outs.
It looks like Avery Boyd. Five for each team.
Yeah, let me know that stuff. That's good. And we're going to have a pitching change here, folks, as you can probably see on your monitor. As we're now tied at 2. Looks like the left-hander Avery Boyd is going to come into the game and take over on the mound for this Georgia team. Boyd will inherit the bases loaded, 2 outs in a 2-2 game here in the bottom of the second inning. So again, Avery Boyd in on the mound. D'Amelio remains behind the plate. 10 strikeouts already in this game, 5 for each team. Through 1 2/3 complete innings. Again, both teams, both pitchers, Fuller with 5 strikeouts, Mayo with 5 strikeouts. But Fuller, with his pitch count already getting up, is going to be removed from the game. And he'll move over to third base.
Georgia, number 13, Avery Boyd.
So Price will go to left field. Fuller will go to third base. And Avery Boyd will be on the mound. You know, one of the neat things, again, covering these games and getting to know these teams with them being here since last Friday is you begin to get to know some of the personal stories of these players and these teams, and you get to watch them for a couple hours a day play. You get to watch them in between games as they're watching other games. Avery Boyd, just one of many that has a story. But Avery Boyd's mother, Cindy Cochran, we understand, is waging a fierce battle against cancer right now. Spoke with some of the parents before the game today, and they wanted me to mention on the air that she's in everyone's thoughts and prayers, as is Avery. She's been at every game during this run, getting them here, and she's here today.
Your attention, please. Now in the game and batting for Florida, number 4, Tyler Lee. For number 3, Caleb Sear in the 5 spot.
And Avery Boyd wanted to dedicate this game to his mother, Cindy Cochran.
Already done that.
And he's now on the mound for Georgia.
Now pitching number 13, Avery Boyd. Already had.
So Avery Boyd in. Again, so our thoughts go out to Cindy Cochran and the entire family. Understand a lot of them are listening back home. And Avery Boyd takes the mound here with the bases loaded and 2 out. First pitch is delivered for a strike. To Tyler Lee, who's now in the game. So Tyler Lee at the plate for Florida, bases loaded. Lee at the plate. Avery Boyd on the mound, left-hander quickly ahead in the count 0-2 on the mound. So Boyd with an 0-2 advantage. Tyler Lee down in the count 0-2. So Lee at the plate, Boyd on the mound, and the 0-2 pitch with the bases loaded and 2 out. That stays inside, almost hits Tyler Lee. So again, Avery Boyd wanted to send a shout out to his family listening back home. And the 1-2 pitch from Boyd is taken outside. Again, been a lot of fun getting to know these guys, and Boyd just one of many young men that been a pleasure to get to watch play and get to know this week. And Boyd delivers, and that swung on and missed. So huge strikeout for Avery Boyd as he comes in relief with the bases loaded and able to strand the runners at third, second, and first. But not before Florida strikes for 2 runs in the inning, and we head to the top of the third. Georgia and Florida tied at 2. So Grant Fuller will lead things off here in the top of the third for Georgia. Again, tied at 2 apiece here as we get set to begin the third inning. We'll give you the defensive changes for Florida in just a moment, as we've got 3 new players in the game for Florida defensively. Again, tied at 2 apiece here, top of the third. Kobe Mayo remains on the mound for Florida. And the 2-0 pitch. That's belted to center field. Looks like it may hang up, and does, for the center fielder to make the catch. So center fielder Timmy Manning settles under that for out number 1. And Grant Fuller, the number 3 hitter for Georgia, is quickly retired. That'll bring D'Amelio to the plate.
Now batting number 15, John D'Amelio.
So resetting the defense as Tyler Lee, Ryan Belk, and Matt Hendricks all enter the game for Florida. We'll reset the positions for you. Again, Hendricks, Lee, and Belk all in the game now defensively for Florida. As us pop straight back. Going to be out of play. Minchie Manning was in center field.
Return that foul ball to take a such stand for a freeze, small drink, or blow pop.
Ryan Belk is over in right field. Richie Payne remains at first. I'm giving these to you folks as I see them turn around and I can see the numbers on the back. And the pitch is delivered, fouled off down the third base line. Sean Shambo remains at third. Luis Fuentes has now moved over from second base to shortstop, so Fuentes at short. And the 0-2 pitch with 1 out here to D'Amelio. Swung on and missed, strike 3. So D'Amelio down on strikes, and that'll bring Blake Tucker to the plate.
Now batting number 22, Blake Tucker.
Tyler Lee, as we mentioned, entered the game. Tyler Lee is at second base. And Matt Hendricks is over in left. So again, Hendricks in left, Lee at second, Belk in right. Those are your new defensive players for Florida as Tucker swings through strike 1. Kobe Mayo now with 2 out here in the top of the third at 56 pitches. And that's taken low and away for ball 1. Again, great crowd on hand this morning. A lot of local folks milling around. 1-1 pitch, and that hits him in the leg. And Tucker is temporarily down. Looks like he's going to be okay. Looks like it got him just above his knee on the back side of his leg and side of his leg. And Tucker's going to try to walk it off and head down to first base with the 2-out hit by pitch. And that'll bring Preston Price to the plate. Again, as I look down the right field line, there's a brick wall down the right field line that folks love to stand and look over, and that wall is pretty much full. Concession stand under the shade is full of folks. As well, in the right field corner, there's an overview deck that'll hold about 30 to 40 people. Good crowd up there. And that's belted to center field. That may be gone, folks, and that is deep and out of here to center field from Price. So 2-run bomb off the bat of Preston Price puts Georgia up 4-2. As that was a no-doubter off the bat of Preston Price to dead center field, right off the base of the batter's eye. And Georgia now takes a 4-2 lead on the 2-run home run from Preston Price. Again, belted to deep center. Timmy Manning barely moved, turned around and looked at it sail over his head, over the wall, and all the way to the base of the batter's eye in center field. So a 2-run homer here from Preston Price with 2 out in the third has given Georgia a 4-2 advantage, and that'll bring Cameron Dunbar to the plate. Dunbar with an RBI single his first time up. So Preston Price with a big blow. Getting his teammates fired up. And Dunbar takes a curveball for strike one. So 4-2 Georgia advantage. Again, 4-2 Georgia. As that ball slowly hit foul down the third base line. Two outs here in the top of the third inning as these teams continue to trade punches back and forth.
But that hits a home run.
Yeah, it only hits a home run.
No, he had a single last time up.
It doesn't show today's game. It just shows the previous.
Dunbar with a home run earlier in the tournament. And an RBI single his first time up today. Is behind now 1-2 in the count. So Kobe Mayo gets ready to deliver the 2-out, 1-ball, 2-strike pitch. And swung on. That gets away from the catcher, and Dunbar is going to be safe at first base on the strikeout. So Dunbar strikes out, but hustles down to first. As that pitch was about a foot outside, not able to be secured by Colin Flynn. And Dunbar at first. Looks like we're going to have a change being made by Robert Peel, again the manager for Martinez Evans Little League out of Evans, Georgia. Like to send the shout out to the two league presidents of each of these leagues, as again, it takes a great effort on all parts to get these teams here, as it looks like number 5, Connor Bone, is going to enter the game. At first base for Dunbar. Again, league presidents for Florida. Sarah Keenas, the president. Give you those again in just a moment, folks, as we're getting some changes here.
Your attention, please. Now entering the game and batting for Georgia, number 24, Antoine Rowling. For number 5, Connor Bone, the 8th spot, again 24 for 5. And now special pinch running for Georgia, number 5, Connor Bone. For number 44, Cameron Dunbar.
So you may have heard that over the PA. We'll give it to you again anyway, just in case you couldn't. Cameron Dunbar is going to be removed from first base. Antoine Rowling now at the plate comes in the game for Connor Bone, and Bone goes to first as a special pinch runner as that's foul down the right field line. So again, Antoine Rowling in the game for Connor Bone. Bone, since he's out of the game, comes in as a special pinch runner for Dunbar. So Bone on first, 2 down. Antoine Rowling at the plate for Georgia. Already with 2 runs in this inning. Off the bat of Preston Price, a big 2-run home run.
3 for 7 at count.
And Rowling swings ground ball back to the pitcher. Mayo fields, tosses over to first for the 3rd out of the inning. So, Rowling grounds out to the pitcher. And Georgia retire, but not before they strike for 2 on the big home run from Preston Price, driving in 2. Georgia now leading 4-2 as we head to the bottom of the 3rd. So welcome back as we head to the bottom of the third inning. Florida coming to the plate, trailing by 2. After the big home run off the bat of Preston Price in the top of the inning, gives Florida a 2-run lead. Avery Boyd again on the mound now for Georgia. And leading off will be the catcher Colin Flynn for Florida.
For Florida, number 7, Colin Flynn.
So Colin Flynn at the plate. And Avery Boyd stares in for the sign. And taking for strike 1. Again, folks, appreciate you listening this morning, this afternoon. Again, all volunteers that put this tournament on and help arrange these broadcasts. Nice pitch there from Avery Boyd. As we've seen from earlier in the tournament, Boyd's got a lot of movement on that off-speed pitch from the left side. He can start that thing about a foot outside, and if you give up on it, it will break back over the plate. And quickly, 0-2, Colin Flynn falls behind in the count at the plate. So Flynn, the catcher for Florida, digs in. Again, Flynn with a big leadoff single yesterday in the bottom of the 6th, eventually resulting in the winning run. And the 0-2 pitch, and that's popped up into center field. Could be trouble. Rolling coming on hard, able to track it down. So the speed of the left-hander, Antoine Rolling, paying off there as he's able to track down that ball in shallow center field off the bat of Colin Flynn, and 1 down here in the bottom of the 3rd.
Now batting number 8, Ryan Belk.
So Ryan Belk will come to the plate, his first plate appearance of the day. Belk in the top half of the last inning defensively. And quickly takes strike 1. Mentioned earlier the league presidents. We do have the league president here for Georgia, who is Carol Proctor. So again, wanted to mention Carol Proctor, the league president for Martinez Evans Little League. She is with us today. No surprise, since Drew Proctor plays on this Georgia team. I'm sorry, excuse me, folks. I was told that earlier. I apologize. Carol Proctor. He is here with us today. Georgia coaches will get a kick out of that. They mentioned that to me earlier today. So again, Carol Proctor, league president for Martinez Evans Little League. Great job that he's done. And the 1-2 pitch. Carol, if you listen to this on replay, I apologize. I haven't personally met you, but I was told that by the coaches that it is a he. And a 2-2 pitch from Avery Boyd. And that's popped up in the infield. Second baseman settles under it. And Preston Price able to make the catch. I'd like to mention also for Florida, had a chance to meet Nicky Anello this week. Anello walking around with a cast on his arm for Florida. Been unable to play. Tough break for that kid, but certainly part of this team. And that's going to bring Matt Hendricks to the plate for Florida here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Again, Florida trailing 4-2. Nobody on here. 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd. And Hendricks to the plate swings through the curveball for 1 strike. And the 1-1 delivery's fouled off late. Again, mentioned earlier, both of these teams undefeated so far through 4 games of this tournament and arriving here at the championship game, as that's taken inside. And dead ball hit the batter. So Matt Hendricks, looked like it might have hit him on the foot. It's going to trot down to first on the hit by pitch.
Now batting number 14, Luis Fuentes.
So the lefty Avery Boyd ran that just a little bit too far inside. Hits Matt Hendricks. And Luis Fuentes will step in now for Florida. Fuentes at the plate, 2 outs, runner on first. And again, Boyd delivers the off-speed pitch into the strike zone for strike 1. Swung on a miss for strike 2. A lot of movement on that ball from Boyd, and the Florida hitters are going to have to be patient, keep their hands back in the zone as long as possible. And the 0-2 pitch. Taken for a called strike 3. Gets away from the catcher, though. And D'Amelio not able to secure on the swing and miss. And with that, Luis Fuentes is able to advance down to first base. So Hendricks at second, Fuentes at first, and that's going to bring the top of the lineup and Kobe Mayo to the plate for Florida with 2 down. Both pitching staffs with a lot of strikeouts in this game so far. Believe that's the 8th strikeout of the game for the Georgia pitching staff.
Yes, sir. 5 running for 9. Thank you. Special pitch runner, 5 running for 9.
Again, the combination of Grant Fuller and Avery Boyd, I believe, with 8 strikeouts so far through 2 2/3.
Now in the game is a special pinch runner for Florida, number 5, Tyler Crawford, number 9, Matt Hendricks.
Unfortunately, a couple of those have gotten away and allowed runners to reach. That's part of the challenge at this age if you're throwing off speed pitches. As good as D'Amelio and Colin Flynn are, it's tough sometimes to control those off-speed pitches in the dirt or anywhere. And so Mayo stands in now with 2 runners on and 2 down, trailing by 2. That's the 7th strikeout. So both teams actually now with 7 strikeouts on the day. Again, 7 strikeouts for the Georgia pitching staff so far through 2 2/3. That's ripped into left field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Runner's going to be waved around third, coming home to score. And on the RBI single by Kobe Mayo, Florida has cut the lead to 4-3. So a 2-out single for Mayo. Good speed on the bases there as Hendricks is able to come around and score. And it's now 4-3 Georgia leads with 2 out.
Timmy Manning.
That's going to bring Timmy Manning to the plate.
He got a good job.
2 runners on. 2 down in the inning and the left-handed hitting Manning at the plate. Manning with a walk and an RBI his last time up. So no balls, 1 strike, lefty on lefty matchup. Just outside. Avery wanted that pitch. Not getting the call. So Manning at the plate, 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, 2 runners on for Florida, trailing by 1 here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And outside again. And Boyd a little more demonstrative on that one, wanting that pitch. And manager Robert Peel going to trek to home plate and talk with the home plate umpire. May want to know where those are missing, or may just be wanting to calm his pitcher down. Home plate umpire Todd Boyd finishes his conversation with manager Robert Peel, and we're set to go here, folks. 2 balls, 1 strike on Timmy Manning, the number 2 hitter in the Florida lineup. And Avery Boyd rocks and fires. And that ball's low for ball 3. Three balls and 1 strike to Manning. And the pitch. And that's taken low for ball 4. So Florida now with the bases loaded here and 2 out in the bottom of the 3rd inning is going to bring Sean Shambo to the plate. Second walk of the day for Timmy Manning. And Robert Peel is going to make a visit to the mound. Not calling his infield in, so coming out just to have a one-on-one conversation with Avery Boyd. Probably trying to pick him up, encourage him. Again, Boyd came in at a big moment in the game with the bases loaded and got a big strikeout in the bottom of the 2nd to get Georgia out of the jam. He sits at 27 pitches right now. So again, Boyd at 27 pitches here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Through 3 complete, Kobe Mayo is at 68 pitches. Again, the limit is 85. You can't exceed that if you start the batter before the 85th pitch until that at-bat is completed. And Sean Shambo steps in. And a strike delivered there. And the 0-1 pitch to Sean Shambo from Avery Boyd. Curveball, grounded to the 3rd baseman. He's going to field it, step on the bag for the 3rd out of the inning. And Avery Boyd and the Martinez Evans Little League team is able to avoid any further damage. So Florida able to strike for 1, but they leave the bases loaded with 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd. But again, get pushed 1 run across, so we head to the 4th. Halfway through here, folks, in the championship game, Georgia holding a 1-run lead at 4-3. Back in a moment. Welcome back to Stallings Stadium at Elm Street Park here in Greenville, North Carolina.
Your attention, please. Now,
As we get ready to begin the 4th inning
number 7, Colin Flynn.
of the championship game of the 2013 Tournament of State Champions. Again, this is the 15th game of this tournament. There were 12 pool play games, 2 semifinal games yesterday on Tuesday, and then the championship game today. New pitcher for Florida, as Colin Flynn is going to come in and take over on the mound. New catcher is going to be Richie Pena. So we get a new battery for Florida. Flynn on the mound, Pena behind the plate. Luis Fuentes will move over to first base. Both of these lineups very flexible. That's definitely a trait you tend to see in the better teams at the Little League age. A lot of players that can play a lot of positions.
Does anybody know who's in left field?
Left fielder is Matt Hendricks.
Matt Hendricks.
What was that?
So we begin the 4th inning
Leading on top 4 for Georgia, number 16, Drew Proctor.
with Drew Proctor coming to the plate to lead things off for Georgia. Georgia holding a slim 4-3 lead halfway through. And both teams now with their second pitchers in the game, both starters out. As Flynn delivers high for ball 1. And again stays high for ball 2. Again, we appreciate you listening. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast out there as we bring this championship game to you between these two fine clubs out of Georgia and out of Florida. Certainly represented their states well here this week, both on the field and off it. as the count's now 2-1, and Proctor swings through the pitch for the second strike. So Drew Proctor, again, we mentioned earlier, Carol Proctor, the league president for Martinez Evans Little League. He is in attendance today, as you would expect. And the 3-2 pitch. Check swing, did he go? First place umpire says no. And Proctor will trot down to first with a leadoff walk here to begin the top of the fourth for Georgia. Crowd continues to grow here. You're not able to see it on your computer monitor, but particularly down the right field line, there's a number of shaded areas. And people continue to conglomerate in those areas. Locals. Obviously, the fan bases for both teams are predominantly located under the covered overhang here.
Entering the game for Georgia as a special pinch runner, number 5, Connor Bones, number 16, Drew Proctor, and now batting number 7, Joshua Melton.
Connor Bone now enters the game as a special pinch runner at first base, so Bone is at first. And that'll bring the leadoff hitter, Joshua Melton, to the plate for Georgia. So Joshua Melton stands in for the third time today for Georgia. Shortstop. Takes high for ball 2. Mentioned earlier the Stallings Stadium seats here. They are covered. Georgia fans sitting to my left down the third base side. As that's popped up in the infield, shortstop and second baseman communicate. Second baseman's going to take that, Tyler Lee. And able to squeeze in and make the catch for out number 1 off the bat of Joshua Melton. Again, Georgia fans sitting here
The next batter is number 13, Avery Boyd.
in the chairback seats. 234 chairback seats here as part of Stallings Stadium. All of them fully covered with a roof overhang. Georgia fans sitting above their team on the third base line. And the Florida fans sitting to the right of us here at the press box. We are inside, as that's delivered for a strike 0-1. Again, Avery Boyd in the game. Replaced Trevor Cragen, who started the game early in this game as Cragen was not feeling well. So Avery Boyd now batting in the 2 spot. Boyd went to center field originally to replace Trevor Cragen, and then moved to the pitcher's mound in the second inning. Coming in the bottom of the second with the bases loaded and getting a big strikeout to help get Georgia out of the inning. So Boyd stands in 2-1 count, 1 out. Connor Bone at first, and that's delivered high for ball 3. So Colin Flynn and swung on and missed. Three balls, 2 strikes, 1 out on the 2-hole hitter Avery Boyd. Connor Bone on first. And the payoff pitch is taken outside for ball 4. So Colin Flynn.
The next batter is number 11, Grant Fuller.
With a walk on the leadoff hitter Joshua Melton. Excuse me, with a walk to Avery Boyd, and that's belted to shortstop. Shortstop steps on second for 1 and fires over to first for the double play. So a 6-3 double play. And Florida is able to get out of it as Kobe Mayo with a 6-3 double play. Eludes trouble, and we head to the bottom of the 4th inning with Georgia holding a 4-3 lead. Let's open the window up. So, welcome back as Sweet Caroline blares over the PA system here. And the fan bases join in the singing of Sweet Caroline. Four to 3 Georgia leads as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Avery Boyd remains on the mound for Georgia. So again, Kobe Mayo with a 6-3 double play. Sharp ground ball off the bat of Grant Fuller. Kobe Mayo able to step on the bag and fire over to first with that strong arm. We mentioned this is the 4th year that this tournament's been held here at beautiful Elm Street Park in Greenville, North Carolina. Again, the previous champions mentioned that Florida had won this last year, Plant City, Florida. In 2011, Weddington National Little League out of Charlotte, North Carolina, was the Tournament of State Champions champion. And the first year of this, it was Westside Little League out of Mobile, Alabama. As number 10, Richie Pena stands in and takes strike one to lead off the bottom of the 4th. So again, Alabama was the inaugural champion, then North Carolina, then Florida last year. So Florida looking to repeat as a state champion here at the Southeast Regional, the state of Florida, as that's line foul down the left field line. School board has 1-1. And it is 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. The count on Richie Pena. And that curveball drops into the strike zone for strike 2. Mentioned earlier, Boyd with a lot of movement on his pitches from the left side, particularly his off-speed pitch. Got to hang in there. If you give up on that too early, it will break back over the plate. And curveball is ripped. No call made yet by the umpire. And now called foul. A late call. Ball was ripped off the glove of Fuller. Couldn't tell if Fuller was in foul or fair territory. No call initially. And then home plate umpire Todd Boyd did throw his hands up and signal foul ball. In honesty, folks, that did look like it was just foul. Fuller was standing in fair territory, reached across the bag into foul territory. Ball hit off his glove. Tough call there, but it's just a loud strike. Florida manager Matt Halpern protests just a little and now having a friendly conversation with the third base umpire. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Just a loud strike on Richie Pena. He steps back in and delivers a sharp single up the middle. So Pena singles hard up the middle to start things here in the bottom of the 4th inning for the Florida State champions out of Coral Springs, Florida. And that's going to bring Caleb Sear to the plate. So 2nd time for Richie Pena reaching base, hit by pitch in his last at bat. And Caleb Sear will be up, who also was hit by a pitch earlier in this game. Again, beautiful weather here today. Sunny skies, temperature expected to reach around 85, 86 degrees. Slight breeze blowing from right to left, the right field foul pole to the left field foul pole. Not really a factor.
Yes, let me get to you to spoke it. It was off the zone.
Were you in 3 for 4? Was he in 3 for 4?
Avery Boyd now at 34 pitches. Again, he came in relief in the 2nd.
Correct. Good deal.
And we're going to have a special pinch runner as it looks like Tyler Lee has entered the game to run.
Your attention, please. Now re-entering the game for Florida, number 3, Caleb Sear. For number 4, Tyler Lee in the 5 spot. Again, 3 for 4. Now entering the game is a special pinch runner for Florida, number 4, Tyler Lee. For number 10, Richie Pena.
So Caleb Sear re-enters for Tyler Lee. And Tyler Lee, since he's out of the game after being re-entered 4, will go into special pinch run at first base. So again, Lee at first. Sear stands in after the leadoff single by Richie Pena. So Pena singled, Richie Pena singled. Tyler Lee into special pinch run for him at first. Nobody out. Caleb Sear at the plate. 0-1 the count. He squares the bunt and takes outside for ball 1. Grant Fuller was charging hard on that. Now playing just on the edge of the grass. And manager Matt Halpern is going to call timeout and discuss things with Caleb Sear. Make sure they're on the same page here about what he wants. Not sure if he's calling for the bunt or just having him flash the bunt to try to distract the pitcher and see what defensively Georgia's going to do. And Sear swinging away this time, takes inside for ball 2. So 2 balls, 1 strike on the batter, Caleb Sear. Tyler Lee at first base after the single by Richie Pena to lead the inning off, and Boyd delivers. And that's popped up out of play. Mentioned that Stallings Stadium has 234 chairback seats, which you cannot see on your screen right now, that the majority of Georgia and Florida's fans are sitting in. In addition, there are outfield bleachers in right field that will hold about 600 as the 2-2 pitch is delivered. And that's ripped into left field. That's going to get over the left fielder's head and up against the fence. Actually bounces over the fence for a ground rule double. And honestly, folks, that may have been a tough break there for Florida, as I believe Tyler Lee, off on the crack of the bat, would have scored on that. But instead, it bounces over for a ground rule double, and he'll have to remain at third. So Caleb Sear with a 2-hop ground ball over the fence for a ground rule double in left field.
Now batting number 7, Colin Flynn.
And all of a sudden, Florida, with the tying run 60 feet away and the go-ahead run 120 feet away, has something brewing here in the bottom of the 4th as Colin Flynn steps in. Nobody out. And Flynn delivers a sharp ball into left field. Left fielder's going to camp under. Should be deep enough to score the run. Runner tags, and Tyler Lee comes home. We're going to have a play at third base as Caleb Sear slides in safely. And we're tied at 4 apiece on the sacrifice fly by Colin Flynn. That ball was hit to about the 185-foot mark in left field. Left fielder camped under it, made a strong throw home, but good base running, as the immediate reaction of Tyler Lee was to go back and tag on the fly ball. He tags, heads home on the sacrifice fly, easily scores. Ball's cut off at the pitcher's mound and fired over to third as Caleb Sear, also with good base running, tag from second, and he's able to advance to third base. So the 4th run across for Florida, tying the game here in the bottom of the 4th. Caleb Sear advances to third on the sacrifice fly.
Oh, yeah, he's done.
So Sear at third. That's going to bring Zach Spano to the plate.
Zach Spano for number 8, Ryan Belt in the 7th spot. Again, 1 for 8 in the 7th spot.
So Zach Spano at the plate with 1 down. Good speed on third as Caleb Sear sits there. Gets in the running position with 1 foot on the bag. And that ball's delivered outside. You wonder if you might see a bunt in this situation with the speed that Sear has at third and only 1 out. Spano has shown the ability to get 1 down. Instead, we got a wild pitch, but it comes straight back to D'Amelio. Very important here that D'Amelio blocks anything with spin on it, keeps it in front of him, as Avery boys relied on that pitch a lot. That was a fastball that just got away but came straight back to him. So 2-0 the count on Zach Spano with 1 down, runner on third. And that's taken high. Game's been back and forth. Georgia scoring 2 in the top of the second. Florida responding with 2 in the bottom half. Georgia scoring 2 more in the top of the third. Florida responding with 1. As the pitch is delivered and taken outside for a walk. And that's going to bring manager Robert Peel to the mound and calls timeout to come out and talk with Avery Boyd. So Spano with his second walk of the game. And we're going to have a pitching change for Georgia as the new pitcher is going to be number 33, Preston Price.
Your attention, please. Now, pitching for Georgia, number 33, Preston Price.
So Preston Price enters the game on the mound, be the third pitcher of the day for Georgia. Nice job by Avery Boyd. Again, Boyd entered the game in a tough spot in the second inning with the bases loaded and able to deliver a big strikeout to get Georgia out of the jam in relief. Boyd then threw the entire third inning and 1 out here in the fourth. So Boyd leaves after 44 pitches. Again, 44 pitches for Boyd. And he'll move to right field.
Entering the game for Florida, number 4, Tyler Lee. For number 3, Caleb Sears. In the 5 spot, again, number 4 for 3 in the 5 spot for Florida. And now re-entering the game in batting for Florida, number 5, Tyler Kraft. For number 9, Matt Hendricks in the 8 spot. Again, 5 for 9 in the 8 spot for Florida.
So again, Preston Price will be the new pitcher for Georgia. We'll try to reset the Georgia defense for you here quickly. D'Amelio remains behind the plate. Cameron Dunbar at first base. Grant Fuller at second. Joshua Milton remains at third. Joshua Milton remains at shortstop. Your new third baseman is Blake Tucker. Blake Tucker at third. That's your infield. Antoine Rowley remains in center. Mentioned that Avery Boyd went to right field. And in left, it looks like Drew Proctor in left field. Yes, Drew Proctor in left field. It helps that these Georgia players have numbers on the fronts of their jerseys. As a first pitch is delivered for a ball, that gets away, going to allow the runner to advance to second base with 1 out. So Zach Spano is now at second base after drawing the walk and then getting a first pitch wild pitch from Preston Price. So Spano on second. Tyler Lee at third. And the batter, if I failed to announce that, is number 5, Tyler Kraft. Kraft standing in from the left side. And the pitch to Kraft. That's ripped into right field. Avery Boyd's got a beat on it. It's going to make the catch and fire home. Throw coming in. And not in time as Tyler Lee slides in safely on the sacrifice fly. Again, good base running by Florida, as even though that was a low line drive, Matt Halpern had his runner tagging immediately. Tyler Lee with instincts to stay on the bag and tag. And he scores on the sacrifice fly to give Florida a 5-4 lead here now in the bottom of the fourth inning. On the throw, Spano advances to third. So a well-coached team base running-wise for Florida, and it pays off here as they've had 4 bases taken on tag-ups here in this inning. As Luis Fuentes is now at the plate with 2 down, a 2-0 count, and Spano standing on third. So Fuentes at the plate, 2-0 count. And that's taken for a called strike on the outside corner. So 2 runs into the inning for Florida as they now hold a 5-4 advantage in the bottom of the fourth with 2 down. And that's taken outside for ball 3. Fuentes, the number 9 hitter. The dangerous Kobe Mayo stands on deck, and that's taken high for ball 4. So a 1st and 3rd situation here with 2 outs for Florida. Kobe Mayo, who already has a single and an RBI on the day. And manager Robert Peel is signaling into his catcher, John D'Amelio, what he wants to do defensively here with 2 outs and runners 1st and 3rd. Both of these teams have shown themselves to be very aggressive on the bases in this situation, so we'd expect the runner on first to be moving, maybe try to get caught in a rundown. We'll see how Georgia handles that with 2 outs, if they give the base up or they throw down and try to get a quick out. So Spano on 3rd, Luis Fuentes at 1st, 2 down, Kobe Mayo at the plate. And that pitch is outside. Looked like that might have been a called pitch out. 1-0 the count, 2 down here, bottom of the 4th. And Mayo with a healthy hack. Mayo really does a good job of keeping that front shoulder closed until the very last minute, allowing him both to see the pitch deep into the zone and then also really be able to unload on that. And that's fly ball hit into left field. Should be playable. Left fielder coming on hard and able to make the catch. Ball hit a little more shallow than I thought. Nice job by Drew Proctor of coming on hard as he was playing very deep on the dangerous Kobe Mayo. And Georgia able to limit the damage as Florida strands runners on 1st and 3rd to end the inning, but not before. Florida able to strike back for 2 runs in the bottom of the 4th. We head to the top of the 5th inning with Georgia trailing Florida 5-4 and coming to bat. Welcome back to Elm Street Park here in Greenville, North Carolina. Championship game of the 2013 Tournament of State Champions. Florida leading Georgia 5-4. Colin Flynn remains on the mound for Florida as he gets ready to complete his warm-up pitches. Mentioned earlier, Elm Street Park, one of the best facilities you'll find for youth baseball anywhere in the country, bar none. This stadium actually opened, this field opened, Elm Street Park did, in 1951. So Little League Baseball has been being played here for over 60 years. Tremendous fan support here during the regular season games played here. There have been over 160 games played on this field here this year, this baseball season, including these.
Entering the game for Florida, number 3, Caleb Sear. Number 4, Tyler Lee in the 5 spot. Number 3 for 4 in the 5 spot for Florida.
This stadium can hold roughly 1,500 spectators for a Little League baseball game.
15, John D'Amelio.
We don't have anywhere near that number here today, but we do have a very healthy crowd here and a very spirited crowd, as you would imagine. And John D'Amelio is going to lead things off here for Georgia to start the 5th inning, trailing by 1. And D'Amelio takes low for ball 1. D'Amelio, the Georgia catcher. This field was actually flooded out in 1999 with Hurricane Floyd and rebuilt shortly after that with a lot of volunteer help and the help of some professional groundskeepers. And since that time, be honest with you folks, this playing surface is about as good as it comes. Meticulously cared for throughout the year. The infield is mowed 6 times a week during the season. while the outfield is mowed 3 to 4 times a week. And the field is dragged, and pitcher's mound and batter's box is totally prepared each evening for the next day. A lot of pride in this stadium, a lot of pride in this facility, and these young men have thoroughly enjoyed playing here for the last 5 days. Got a couple of changes taking place here. We'll report them to you in just a moment as they're being phoned up to the press box, as you may hear. So I think we've got things straightened out here with the
Your attention, please. Now re-entering the game for
substitutions.
Here for number 4, Tyler Lee in the 5 spot.
So Caleb Sear being reported in for Tyler Lee in the 5 spot. What you begin to get at this point, just so you know, as we're trying to keep up with all these changes, is you are allowed to do offensive or defensive substitutions once minimum play is met. That ball's ripped into left field. That's going to get down for at least 2 as that ball's fielded off the fence. Excuse me, folks. Great play by Manning. He's able to hold him to a single. So D'Amelio hit that ball too hard, if there's such a thing. That ball was ripped into the left center field gap, short hopped the wall. Manning fielded it off the wall and immediately fired in, holding D'Amelio to a long single. But D'Amelio on nonetheless with a leadoff single here to start the 5th inning. And Blake Tucker swings through strike 1. Tucker already on base twice today with a hit by pitch and a single. So D'Amelio with a sharp single that one-hops the wall. Again, almost hit that too hard. Thought for sure off the bat that was going to be a double since it was in the gap, but it came off the fence really hard. Again, a wood fence here all the way around. You see signage in the background. And 1-1 pitch grounded to the third baseman, stays down and fires to second for 1 on to first in time for the double play. So the 5-4-3 twin killing for Florida erases the leadoff single by John D'Amelio. And that's a beautiful turn. Don't see a lot of 5-4-3s at this age level in Little League. That's about as well done as you can do it. So Kobe Mayo fielded that ball at third base. Fired over to the second baseman, which I believe is Luis Fuentes. Again, we've had some changes taking place each inning, but I believe that's Fuentes, and he fired to first. And now Price is in the game. Preston Price at the plate right now. So Preston Price, who earlier in the game had a big 2-run home run to dead center field, also drawn a walk. Pops that up in the infield. First baseman calls for it and makes the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. So 3 up, 3 down, highlighted by the 5-4-3 twin killing by Florida there. Preserves a 5-4 lead for Florida. And we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Florida coming to bat, leading 5-4. Welcome back as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning with Florida coming to bat holding a 5-4 lead. Again, want to send a shout out to the folks down in Coral Springs, Florida, that we understand are listening and watching the broadcast at the Hurricane Grill and Wings. Hope you're enjoying the game.
For Georgia, number 5, Connor Bone. For number 24, Antoine Rowland in the 8th spot. Again, number 5, Connor Bone re-entering for number 24, Antoine Rowland in the 8th spot.
Folks here from Florida really excited about you guys watching back home. A number of them grabbed me on the way into the broadcast booth today. Make sure I mention that on the broadcast. These teams can really feel the support back home from both states. It's a neat age at this age to get to play on a stage like this and feel like you've got the support of an entire state following you. As we start the bottom of the 5th with Preston Price still on the mound for Georgia. Third pitcher of the game for Georgia. Again, Grant Fuller started the game, relieved by Avery Boyd, and Price in last inning in relief of Boyd. Timmy Manning at the plate quickly ahead 2-0 for Florida. Manning, the center fielder. Couple of walks and an RBI already in the game for the left-handed hitting Manning as he takes a strike. 2-1 the count. And that's a ground ball, sharp single up the middle to start the inning for Florida. So Timmy Manning, with a sharp single back up the middle, gets things started for Florida here in the bottom of the 5th with a leadoff hit. And that's going to bring number 12, Sean Shambo, to the plate. We mentioned earlier that League President Carol Proctor is here. He was able to make the trip and is here in attendance for Martinez Evans Little League out of Evans, Georgia, as the pitch is delivered outside. Off the wall, going to have a play at second base. Throw just over the shortstop's head. Melton not able to secure it. And Timmy Manning is now going to be at second base on the wild pitch. That ball came back hard off the wall. D'Amelio threw his mask down, fielded it, had a play at second base, but threw just a little high. And with that, Timmy Manning's at second base with nobody out and Shambo at the plate. Shambo takes high and inside for ball 2. The league president for North Springs Little League is Joe Sarakinis. Joe Sarakinis, we mentioned earlier in the tournament that one of the traditions for the Florida manager is he receives a text message from the wife of the league president, Marina Sarakinis is her name, Joe's wife, saying hi and wishing him luck about 5 minutes before game time. I was standing beside Coach Hopper the other day when that text came through as the 3-1 pitch is swung on and fouled back 3-2. So, again, credit to these league presidents as well for obviously running well-run leagues for these teams to be so supported and to advance this far. So 3-2 the count, and that's fouled back. Again, we're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Nobody out. Timmy Manning on second. Florida with a 1-run lead, threatening to get more as the number 3 hitter Shambo's at the plate, and he fouls that back again. We mentioned before this is the first time that a team from Georgia has been in the Tournament of State Champions final game, championship game. 3-2 pitch, taken high for ball 4. So these Georgia kids have already accomplished a first here at this 11-year-old age here in Greenville, North Carolina.
Now batting number 10, Richie Pena.
And we mentioned this is actually the 3rd time in 4 years that a team from the state of Florida has found their way into the final game of the Tournament of State Champions. Been a different Little League in a different city each time.
4 running for 12. Keep it 4 for 12.
All right, so coming into the game to special pinch run.
Now in the game is a special pinch runner for Florida. Number 4, Tyler Lee. For number 12, Sean Shambo.
Is going to be Tyler Lee. So Tyler Lee at first base now, special pinch running for Sean Shambo as Richie Pena steps in the box. with 2 on and nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th for Florida. And that's taken inside. So Preston Price needing to find his groove here with 2 runners already on. And the cleanup hitter at the plate for Florida, Richie Pena. Pena takes high for ball 2. And that's going to bring Robert Peel out for a visit to the mound. And it looks like we're going to have a change, as Price is going to be moving to second base. Looks like Joshua Melton will be in relief. We're going to stay right here since we're so late in the game. Joshua Melton coming in to warm up now. Be the 4th pitcher of the day for Georgia. And looks like Connor Bone will move over to shortstop. Preston Price will be at second. So your middle again, D'Amelio remains behind the plate. Melton on the mound. Price at second. Connor Bone at short. And Avery Boyd is in center field.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for Georgia, number 7, Joshua Melton.
As you're watching on the computer screen, for those of you grass fanatics out there, infield grass that is, the infield grass here at Elm Street Park is 419 Bermuda grass. The outfield's common Bermuda grass. The infield is actually dressed with about 2.5 tons of Diamond Pro infield conditioner. We mentioned that this infield had been completely rebuilt after Hurricane Floyd flooded this field out in 1999. This had always been a special place for baseball to be played, but it really took a step and moved to the next level when it was rebuilt after the 1999 Floyd flood. Also got red brick dust in the coaching areas and the walkways in front of the dugouts. So we're about ready and set for action here to resume as Richie Pena steps in the box and Joshua Melton delivers his first pitch for a strike. So again, Melton on the mound. We mentioned that because so many of these kids throughout the week have mentioned how nice the playing surface is here. And that gets away, and that's going to allow both runners to advance. So a little spin on that pitch, kicks away from D'Amelio. He's gone the distance behind the plate today. And with nobody out, Florida now has runners at second and third for Richie Pena. And Pena hits that ball flared on the right side. Is going to get out of play foul. So a full count. His manager, Matt Halpern, implores Richie Pena to think oppo here with a 3-2 count. Think oppo, meaning keep your hands back as long as possible in case it's an off-speed pitch. Drive it the other way. Again, both these teams extremely well coached, extremely well prepared. And the 3-2 pitch. That's belted into left field. Going to get over the left fielder's head. Off the wall. 1 run is in. Tyler Lee coming around third. Going to be a throw to the plate, but not in time as Lee comes across to score. And Richie Pena with the big 2 RBI double to the left field wall has now put Florida in front 7-4 here in the bottom of the 5th. So Pena with the 2 RBI double. That ball was belted. Left fielder tried to get a beat on it, but Drew Proctor not able to haul it in. And Florida now leads 7-4. That'll bring Caleb Sear to the plate. And Milton delivers the pitch outside. So 1 ball, no strikes. Pena stands on second base after the 2 RBI double. Caleb Sear at the plate, who's already hit a ground rule double in this game in his last at bat. as Florida's extended their lead with 2 runs here in the bottom of the 5th to extend their lead to 7-4. Strike on the outside corner delivered by Melton. Both of these teams can swing the bat, so never out of it. But I'm sure Georgia nonetheless would like to keep the scoreboard as it is right now and not allow Richie Pena to come across for another run as he stands at second with nobody out. And that's taken on the outside corner for strike 2. Home plate umpire today is Todd Boyd. These umpires have done a great job throughout this tournament. In case you're wondering, we have 6 umpires in the field for this game, or on the field, as that's fouled off down the right side. Again, 6 umpires working this game today. I think currently you can only see 2 of them in the field, but in addition to the one behind home plate and the one standing behind the shortstop on your screen, there are 2 umpires down each line, one in the outfield and one just behind the bag. And the 3-2 pitch, taken low and away for ball 4. So Caleb Sear trots down to first base with the no-out walk.
Now batting number 7, Colin Flynn.
As it looks like Georgia has Brian Peel warming up in the bullpen. Peel not currently in the game, but he is getting loose in the bullpen. So runners on first and second as Melton delivers the pitch. That's ripped for a base hit, at least one in the left field corner. That's going to get at least 1 run home. Caleb Sear comes around third. They're going to hold him up. And Colin Flynn is in with a stand-up double. So Flynn with an RBI double into the left field corner plates another run for Florida, and they now extend the lead to 8-4. So Colin Flynn, who yesterday had the big single in the bottom of the 6th inning, eventually coming around and being the winning run in the bottom of the 6th in the 3-2 walk-off victory, with the big double here to extend the lead to 8-4. So Florida now runners on second and third.
Now re-entering the game and batting for Florida, number 8, Ryan Belk for number 1.
And that's going to bring Ryan Belk to the plate.
Again, 8 for 1 and 7th spot.
Ryan Belk to the plate. Caleb Sear on third. Colin Flynn on second. 3 runs in the inning so far for Florida. Georgia on their second pitcher of the inning as Joshua Melton continues on the mound. And the first pitch to Ryan Belk is taken outside for a ball. And Belk smokes that. That may get out of here, folks. That's hit to deep left center field and gone. Home run off the bat of Ryan Belk. And that 3-run shot provides an exclamation point to a big inning so far for Florida. So a 3-run home run off the bat of Ryan Belk as his team congratulates him, waiting on him at home plate. And that extends the Florida lead to 11-4. No doubt about that one. Hit over the next level training center sign in left center field. And landing underneath the concession stand in center field. So Ryan Belk re-enters the game and immediately delivers a big 3-run shot off his bat. And that fires up the Florida crowd even further. So 11-4, Florida leads. We're going to have a pitching change as Joshua Melton's going to leave the mound. Nothing for Joshua Melton to hang his head about there. He threw it. Belk hit it. That's the way it goes sometimes. Melton's had a terrific tournament at shortstop for this Georgia team. As Melton will go back to shortstop now, and Brian Peel will enter the game on the mound for Georgia. As 6 runs have already come across here for Florida in the bottom of the 5th.
Entering the game for Georgia, number 2, Brian Peel. For number 16, Drew Proctor in the 9 spot. Again, 2 for 16 in the 9 spot. And now pitching for Georgia, number 2, Brian Peel.
So Brian Peel will enter the game on the mound now for Georgia. He'll be the 5th pitcher of the game, if my count's correct, for Georgia. As the entire Georgia infield congregates at shortstop and picks up Joshua Melton. It's what you love to see at this age. And now they're going to disperse back to their positions. So Florida breaking it open here in the bottom of the 5th with a 6-run inning. And what had been a back-and-forth game. Georgia still with 3 outs remaining. No clock in this game. So all the opportunity in the world for Georgia to mount a comeback in the top of the 6th. And the first pitch delivered from Brian Peel hits Tyler Kraft on the foot, and Kraft will trot down to first. So Tyler Kraft hit on the foot with the first pitch delivered by Peel. Kraft now at first base. And Fuentes will step in. Luis Fuentes steps in for Florida. That pitch is going to get away, and Kraft advances to second. So things coming a little bit unraveled here for Georgia in the bottom of the 5th inning as they try to right the ship. Parents encouraging them to hang in there and continue to battle. They certainly will. 2-0 the count. And the 2-1 pitch is delivered low for ball 3. And that skips away. Florida manager is going to hold the runner up at second, not have him advance to third on the walk. So some sportsmanship being shown there by manager Matt Halpern. And that brings the top of the lineup to the plate in the person of Kobe Mayo for Florida. So Peel struggling a little bit right now to find the strike zone. Catcher John D'Amelio is going to go out to the mound and encourage him. Again, this Georgia team already accomplishing a first from their state, being the first Georgia team to advance to the championship game in this 11-year-old Tournament of State Champions. As Kobe Mayo takes a pitch low and in the dirt, throw down to third base, and not able to be secured by Fuller. So the runner slides in safely into third base. So both Florida runners move up on the wild pitch. Ball was thrown down to third. Third baseman Fuller tried to come off the bag to secure the throw and collided with the runner sliding in. Everybody looks like they're okay. And 1-0 the count to Mayo. Curveball stays high from Peel. Again, this Georgia team went undefeated in pool play, going 3-0, and then won a hard-fought game against a very good South Carolina team yesterday to get to this point. As manager, Robert Peel is going to go out and talk with pitcher Brian Peel, and it looks like we're going to have another change on the mound. Looks like coming in to pitch for Georgia will be number 22, Blake Tucker. With that, we're going to take a timeout. We'll be back with you in just a moment with Florida leading Georgia 11-4 here. Nobody out in the bottom of the 5th inning. Back in a moment, folks. Welcome back. As first pitch delivered from number 22, Blake Tucker, is a strike. So 3-1 the count to Kobe Mayo, runner second and third. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th. And Mayo rips that long fly ball into left field, but foul. So 3-2 now the count. Three balls, 2 strikes, and that pitch is ripped into center field. That's going to get both base runners home as Mayo speeds into second. Going to have a play at second base, and Mayo slides in safely into second with a 2 RBI double for Florida. Again, a 2 RBI double for Kobe Mayo, and the Florida State champions extend their lead here in the bottom of the 5th inning. That'll bring Timmy Manning to the plate for Florida. So Blake Tucker comes in and is able to pound the strike zone. But Mayo continues his high hitting in this Southeast Regional Tournament, Tournament of State Champions. And the score is now 13-4 for Florida, with nobody out still here in the bottom of the 5th. So Timmy Manning stands in. That ball actually catches the backside of Manning. Manning doesn't think it hit him. It's like he wants to swing, but it's going to be awarded first base. So Manning trots down to first.
Now batting number 12,
Sean Shambo to the plate. Manager Robert Peel still coaching his defense out there, repositioning the outfield. So Sean Shambo at the plate now. Florida runners on first and second. And Blake Tucker gets ready to deliver the pitch. Hate to see this game get out of hand, as it was such a well-played game early, as Florida's now hung 8 here in the bottom of the 5th. And that ball's popped up in the infield. Shortstop Joshua Melton settles under and makes the catch. Florida now holding a commanding 13-4 lead. Want to see these kids from Georgia continue to fight, as I know they will. Finish this inning off. Come to the plate, who knows, in the top of the 6th. Again, this Georgia team had a tremendous run through their state tournament and through this regional. As again, that ball's popped up in the infield. This time the pitcher, Blake Tucker's going to take it himself, and all of a sudden 2 pitches, 2 outs for Georgia, as Richie Pena and Sean Shambo both pop up. That was Richie Pena at the plate. So first pitch swinging and popping up to the pitcher. And 2 down now in the bottom of the 5th inning. Again, huge inning for Florida as they've hung 8 runs to take a commanding 13-4 lead.
Your attention, please. Now we're in game and batting for Florida. Number 4, Tyler Lee. For number 3, Caleb Sear in the 5 spot. 4 for 3 in the 5 spot.
So 2 outs now, and that's going to bring Tyler Lee to the plate. As Blake Tucker's come in and been able to pound the strike zone here. That pitch is fouled off late. And that's swung through and missed by Tyler Lee as Blake Tucker delivers a nice curveball for strike 2. That's fouled off. And it's swung on and missed by Tyler Lee. So nice job there by Blake Tucker in relief, coming in to record the out. But not before Florida erupts for 8 runs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. So we head to the top of the 6th inning. Georgia coming to bat, trailing 13-4. Back in a moment.
Yeah, I read about that. They had like a contest or something. Yeah, back in the old days. We never would have done shrimp teams and big hit, so
Get 3 for 4. And 8 1 for 8. Your attention, please. Now re-entering the game for Florida, number 3, Caleb Sear. For number 4, Tyler Lee in the 5 spot. 3 for 4 in the
So welcome back here to the 6th inning.
Zach Spano for number 8, Ryan Belk in the 7th spot. And now pitching for Florida, number 14, Luis Fuentes.
As Luis Fuentes enters the game to try and record the final 3 outs and preserve this lead for Florida.
For Georgia, number 44, Cameron Dunbar.
So Florida 3 outs away from claiming the Tournament of State Champions title. Luis Fuentes on the mound. Cameron Dunbar to lead things off for Georgia. Georgia needs 9 runs to tie. Down to their final 3 outs. And the first pitch is delivered. Sharp single to left field for Cameron Dunbar. That's going to get to the wall. Dunbar rounding first. He's going to hold up there as the throw comes into second base. And Cameron Dunbar with a sharp 1-out single for Georgia. So again, we're in the top of the 6th. Dunbar with a leadoff single. And that's going to bring Connor Bone to the plate for Georgia, or maybe not. Looks like Antoine Rolling. Well, I tell you what, instead of guessing, I'll wait until it's announced. Hold on one second, folks.
44 re-enter for 5.
So indeed, it will be Antoine Rolling coming to the plate for Connor Bone. So Antoine Rolling. So Antoine Rolling coming to the plate for Georgia. Cameron Dunbar will remain on first.
The game and batting for Georgia, number 24, Antoine Rolling. For number 5, Connor Bone in the 8th spot. Again, 24 for 5 in the 8th spot.
Again, want to stress how impressed we've been with both of these teams this week, the way they've conducted themselves, the passion they've played with, how prepared they've been. 2 well-coached teams from 2 very, very good Little League programs. As Rolling swings through strike 1. And strike 2. So Martinez Evans Little League out of Evans, Georgia, down to their final 3 outs, trailing by 9. Trying to mount a rally here in the top of the 6th inning. Antoine Rolling quickly behind 0-2. And that's fouled straight back.
Please return that foul ball to the concession stand for a free small drink. Our blood ball.
And swung on a miss for strike 3. So Luis Fuentes gets the strike out here for out number 1. And with 1 down, that's going to bring Brian Peel to the plate for Georgia. Again, Fuentes in relief. So Peel stands in. And swings, sharp ground ball to third. Fires over to second for 1. Second baseman fires over to first. Turns it double. Oh, they call him safe. As the umpire is saying that the first baseman, Richie Pena, was pulled off the bag. It was definitely turned in time, and that certainly would have ended the game and this tournament in style. But on the full stretch, Pena apparently was pulled off the bag, and Peel is safe at first base. That would have been something, quite frankly, to see 2 5-4-3 double plays turned in one game by the same team. A brilliant turn there as Kobe Mayo fielded that and fired over to second base. But first baseman stretched just a little prematurely over there. Nevertheless, 2 down here now in the 6th inning, and Florida is now 1 out away from claiming the 2013 Tournament of State Champions.
Special pinch for number 2, number 5.
He utilized a stretch he did not need to utilize.
Special pinch for number 5 for number 2.
So
He's now in games a special.
Pena got a little excited over there at first base. Probably didn't need to stretch. That was turned so quickly
Number 7, Joshua Melton.
that the out was going to be recorded at first regardless. But Pena, again, wanting to end it in style with the full Major League stretch, and it just pulled his back foot off the bag. So can't blame the kid for being excited or for trying that. That's how he's fielded many of the balls at first base in this tournament. Pena just barely coming off the bag there, though. So 2 down now. Luis Fuentes on the mound. Joshua Melton, the leadoff hitter for Georgia, stands in. And the pitch is delivered high and outside. And the 1-0 pitch to Melton. Taken high and inside. Ball 2. And 2-0 pitch delivered down the middle for a strike. Again, Luis Fuentes in relief on the mound. Fuentes looking to close this out with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning, holding a 13-4 lead. And that's grounded to the third baseman. This should end it. Third baseman fires across, and Florida is your 2013 Tournament of State Champions Southeast Regional winner, as manager Matt Halpern gets the ice water Gatorade bucket dumped on him right now. Wish you could see his reaction. Congratulations to Florida. Hope you folks at the Hurricane Grill and Wings in Coral Springs are celebrating appropriately. And congratulations to the kids from Florida and North Springs Little League on winning the 2013 Tournament of State Champions here at Elm Street Park in Greenville, North Carolina. Equal congratulations goes out to the Georgia State Champions out of Martinez Evans Little League, who for the last 5 days, with the exception really of just 1/2 of an inning, have played outstanding baseball and have a tremendous amount to be proud of, folks. You folks in Georgia should be very proud of this team, as I know you are. This team out of Evans, Georgia, going 4-1 here at this Southeast Regional Tournament of State Champions, as the coaching staffs congratulate each other and share a heartfelt handshake and hug. Takes an awful lot to get to this point. I know both staffs appreciate the efforts of the other. And really, as I said, with the exception of 1/2 inning of play, Georgia has really played flawlessly here throughout this Tournament of State Champions. So congratulations to the runners-up from Martinez Evans Little League in Evans, Georgia. Enjoyed getting to know the fans, the team, watching these young men play. I'll certainly be following them next year as 12-year-olds and hope that they get a chance to earn their way to the Southeast Regional in their home state in Warner Robins, Georgia. But congratulations to the champions from the state of Florida as they line up on the line and do their post-game tradition of running about a 10-yard sprint, back and forth a few times, win or lose, as their manager Matt Halpern is being interviewed by the local media here, the television station. Again, North Springs Little League out of Coral Springs, Florida is your 2013 champion. For those of you both in Florida and in Georgia that may be listening to the broadcast, the local newspaper here is the Daily Reflector. We're not sure if they're covering this game today or not, but certainly there will at least be some headline in tomorrow's paper we would expect. The website is reflector.com if you'd like to go on and see that. I'm looking around to see if I see anybody here. It looks like WNCT is the news station that's covering this. So WNCT. So if you will Google WNCT, that is the news station here. You'll be able to watch the video highlights on the 6 o'clock and 11 o'clock news tonight as they're interviewing both coaches right now. So, again, WNCT.com. Again, I would stress for you to Google WNCT TV in Greenville, North Carolina. And I suspect, in fact, I know that you'll have video highlights available on that newscast tonight at 6 and at 11. And, again, the paper is Reflector.com. Reflector.com for whatever headline they may have in tomorrow's newspaper. So, again, congratulations to North Springs Little League out of Coral Springs, Florida. Got to know those folks really well this week. Have enjoyed getting to know them. Great group of kids, great parents, superb coaching staff. Again, league president Joe Sarakinas. So, folks, with that, we're going to sign off here on this broadcast. Hope you've enjoyed the broadcast. Again, this has been all volunteers, so apologize for the last 5 days for any technical difficulties that may have been had. But, again, it's been all volunteers here, and we hope we've been able to bring you some idea of what's going on during this broadcast in these last 5 days as Florida captures the title here at the 2013 Tournament of State Champions. Thank you so much as we're signing off here, and hope all you folks in Florida and Georgia enjoyed the game. All right. I just signed off. Okay, we hit stop broadcast.
No, just stop recording.